Hello students, in the previous lecture we have discussed about Einstein's coefficients and we discussed the three processes which Einstein had proposed. They were induced absorption, spontaneous emission and stimulated emission. In today's video we will be studying Einstein's theory, that is what is the relation between these coefficients. We will be deriving the relation. Now this is a derivation of 4 to 7 marks which is generally asked in GTO exams. So relation between Einstein's coefficient, I hope you remember the three coefficients. Let me just brief you. A21 is known as spontaneous emission, the probability of spontaneous emission per unit time. B21 is known as the probability of stimulated emission per unit time, and B12 is known as the probability of induced absorption per unit time. So to obtain Einstein's relation, the relation between Einstein's coefficient, now Einstein obtained a mathematical expression to establish the existence of two different kinds of emission processes. So he basically derived a relation between spontaneous and stimulated emission. Why? Because spontaneous emission is a process which generally happens. It is an uncontrollable process, as we discussed in the last video. It happens on its own. To achieve stimulated emission, certain conditions are required because stimulated emission will only take place when a photon or external energy is incident or induced. Right. So before an atom spontaneously comes down on its own, we have to achieve stimulated emission. So for that, relation between these two emissions is important, which was derived by Einstein. It can't be predicted which particular atom will make a transition from one state to another at a particular instant, but we can calculate the rate of transmission between the states. Rate of transmission, if you remember, we had R12, we had R21 SP, that is R21 spontaneous, R21 ST, that is R21 stimulated. So this can be known. You do not know because there are thousands of atoms in any system. So which atom will come first, which will be the second atom, that cannot be predicted. So instead of it, we predict what is the rate of transmission between the two states. So for that, let us assume that the atomic system is in thermal equilibrium. Thermal equilibrium means there is no exchange of heat. At any temperature, we say that number of upward transitions per unit volume per second. Upward transition is only one, that is absorption, right? That is from a lower level to a higher level. So number of upward transitions per unit volume per unit second should be equal to the number of downward transitions per unit volume per second. Now we have upward transition only one. On the other hand, downward transitions are of two categories. They are spontaneous and stimulated emission. So according to this relation, we can say that whatever is the amount of upward transition, that is, whatever is the type of induced absorption, should be equal to the two types of emissions. So induced absorption should be equal to both the type of emissions. That is what I am saying here. The rate of absorption should be equal to the rate of emission. Now rate of absorption, that is R12, you know that it is equals to B12 N1 rho. B12 is known as the probability constant, N1 is the population of lower energy level, and rho is the density of radiation. Rate of emission will be equal to A21N2 plus B21N2 rho. A21N2 means spontaneous emission and B21N2 rho means stimulated emission. So in this, we call this equation as equation number 1. In this equation, what we do is, we take the two terms which have rho on one side. So B12N1, I take this on left hand side. So minus B21N2 into rho should be equal to A21N2. So rho, that is the density of radiation, you just take this term on the right hand side. So rho is equals to A21N2 upon B12N1 minus B21N2. Dividing the above equation by N2. Now in this equation, we divide the entire equation by N2 on the RHS. So we get A21 as it is, B12 into bracket N1 upon N2 minus B21, the N2 term is gone. So rho is equals to A21 upon B12 N1 by N2 minus B21. This we call equation number 2, where N1 is the number of atoms in ground state and N2 is the number of atoms in excited state. Now if you remember Boltzmann distribution law, you had studied it in 11th or 12th in chemistry. As per the Boltzmann distribution law, we have a relation that N1 means the number of atoms in ground state is equals to N0 into e raised to minus E1 upon kBt. Now what is kBt? kBt is a term which generally denotes the entropy or randomness of a system. Kb means the Boltzmann constant, which has a value 1.38 into 10 raised to minus 23 joule per Kelvin, and T means the temperature. Now here in this equation, N1 means number of atoms in ground state, N0 means the total number of atoms, E1 means the energy of ground state, Kb is Boltzmann constant, and T is temperature. Similarly, we can write one more equation related to number of atoms in the excited state or higher energy state. That will be equal to N2 into N0 e raised to minus E2 upon kBt. Now here N2 means number of atoms in higher energy state, N0 means total number of atoms, and E2 is the energy of higher energy state divided by kBt. Now we will be using these two equations which were stated by Boltzmann in the above derived equation number 2. So according to Boltzmann distribution law, we can say that N2 by N1. Why N2 by N1? We have a term over here. So N2 by N1 is equals to, substituting the value, so N0 e raised to minus E2 upon kBt whole upon N0 into e raised to minus E1 upon kBt. Now N0 get cancelled. So we are left with N2 by N1 is equals to e raised to minus E2 by minus sign common, E2 minus E1, I just take it in numerator, upon kBt. Now you know that E2 minus E1 is equals to h nu. What is h nu? If you remember, while defining the three processes, we had assumed one photon which has energy equal to the energy difference of the two states. So we get the above equation, N2 by N1 is equals to e raised to minus h nu upon kBt, or we can write N1 by N2. I just reverse this, so this negative sign is gone. So N1 upon N2 is equals to e raised to h nu by kBt. Now we substitute this derived equation in the equation number 2 above. So we get rho is equals to A21 as it is upon B12 into bracket e raised to h nu by kBt. Instead of the term E2 minus E1, we have h nu by kBt minus B21. Or you can say rho is equals to A21 upon B12. So from the denominator, I take the term B21 common, and this B21 I just take outside the bracket. So I will be having B12 upon B21 in the denominator multiplied by e raised to h nu by kBt, and this B21 we have taken out, so minus 1. Now from the Planck's theory of radiation, we have a relation. The radiation is defined as 8 pi h nu cube upon c cube into bracket 1 upon e raised to h nu by kBt minus 1, where c here denotes the speed of light in air. If I compare these two equations, if I compare equation number 5 and 6, I have a relation that these two are related by the term 8 pi h nu cube upon c cube. And if you just compare the terms in the bracket in both the equations, you can see that e raised to h nu by kBt minus 1 is as it is. Now this term is extra. So if I compare the equation derived by Einstein with the Planck's theory of radiation, I can only compare if this ratio is 1. What does this mean? B12 should be equal to B21. Only then we will be getting the ratio 1, which means that B12 means the amount of induced absorption per unit time should be equal to B21, means the amount of stimulated emission per unit time. So only when these two are equal, we get the equation similar to the Planck's theory of radiation. So comparing the equations 5 and 6, as I just said, A21 upon B21 is equals to 8 pi h nu cube upon c cube, and B21 should be equal to B12. I call it equation number 7. From equation number 7, we can say that probability of absorption, this absorption is equal to the probability of stimulated emission. Absorption means B12, stimulated emission means B21. Also, we can say that the ratio of spontaneous emission, that is A21, and stimulated emission is proportional to nu cube. Why only nu cube? Because 8 pi is a constant, h is known as Planck's constant, and c means speed of light is also a constant. So this ratio should be proportional to nu cube. So we can say that if I say A21 upon B21, so if I just write A21, B21 I take here, all these terms are constant. So we have B21 into nu cube. We can say that spontaneous emission is more compared to stimulated emission. That means the spontaneous emission dominates over stimulated emission. Now next, in the derivation, what Einstein did was he actually defined that spontaneous emission is more as compared to stimulated emission. So laser won't be possible then. And then he suggested certain terminologies which I'll be covering in my next video. So now let us just have a look at the ratio of spontaneous and stimulated emission which was derived by Einstein. So we know that R21 spontaneous is equals to A21 N2. R21 stimulated is equals to B21 N2 into rho. I have just taken the ratio of these two. So R21 stimulated upon R21 spontaneous, that should be equal to B21 N2 rho upon A21 N2. So R21 stimulated upon R21 spontaneous is equals to B21 upon A21 rho. Why? Because N2 N2 get cancelled. So this is our equation number 1. But from the equation number 5 of the previous derivation, let me just say, this is the equation number 5. If I just take these two constants on LHS, I have B21 upon A21 into rho. That should be equal to this term. So from equation number 5, we'll be using equation number 5 of the previous derivation. And we have rho is equals to A21 upon B21 into bracket 1 upon B12 upon B21 into e raised to h nu by kBt minus 1. But Einstein stated that these two processes should be equal, only then the comparison with Planck's theory is possible. So we assume that these two are same, so ratio is 1. So rho will be equal to A21 upon B21 into bracket 1 upon e raised to h nu by kBt minus 1. I just take these two terms on LHS. So B21 rho upon A21 is equals to 1 upon h nu by kBt minus 1. But from the equation number 1 above, we have derived that B21 upon A21 into rho is equals to R21 stimulated upon R21 spontaneous. So I get R21 stimulated upon R21 spontaneous is equals to 1 upon e raised to h nu by kBt minus 1. Or you can say R21 spontaneous. I just take R21 spontaneous term on the RHS and this denominator term on the LHS. So we have R21 spontaneous is equal to R21 stimulated into bracket e raised to h nu by kBt minus 1. Just assume this relation is A is equals to B into C. So we can say that A is greater than B and C both, right? Suppose I have 8 is equals to 4 into 2. 8 is equals to 4 into 2. So 8 is greater than 4, 8 is greater than 2. So you can say from the above equation 3 that R21 spontaneous is greater than R21 stimulated. Why? Because we have a factor e raised to h nu by kBt minus 1 multiplied by this process. So what Einstein concluded from this equation, that spontaneous emission is more as compared to stimulated emission. But for laser, stimulated emission is necessary. So how is that achieved will be covered in the next video. So from the above equation, we can say that spontaneous emission far exceeds the number of stimulated emissions. So we say that laser action is not possible. In order that we have more stimulated emission compared to spontaneous emission, the population of excited state, that is higher energy state, should be made larger as compared to the population of ground state N1. hope the topic is clear. We will be covering the basics, the basic definitions related to laser, the important terminologies in the next video. Thank you.